Hey guys, this is day 2, which means we're reading chapter 2 of Matthew. And this starts out finishing our Christmas story that we really just went over. It starts with the visit of the Magi or the wise men. Remember, Scripture doesn't tell us how many, doesn't tell them what they were riding, it doesn't even tell us really when they got there, but we can read through Scripture and figure out that they probably arrived when Jesus was in between 1-2 years old, somewhere in that kind of toddler movement, right? So, them coming to the manger, like our nativities, that's really not biblical, but it's nice to set them out, right? To set them across the room. But when these wise men come, of course, they bring him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were good gifts. They were gifts that really Mary and Joseph was about to use much earlier than probably they expected, because we can get to the middle of chapter 2 and we see really a part, I think, of the Christmas story that we really kind of forget and we lose. After the Magi leave, it says that they don't go back to King Herod. They just leave because they know King Herod. God has told them and give them a vision that King Herod is up to no good. But then God sends Joseph another dream. Another angel comes and tells him that they need to depart. They need to leave because King Herod is going to do something very, very bad, right? And so they go to Egypt, which is about 75 miles away, which is probably they would have used this gold, this frankincense, this myrrh. They would have probably cashed that out, liquidated it, and able to do the travel for room and board, those sense of things. But notice, not only do they go to Egypt, which was great faith on Mary and great faith on Joseph, but also it says in verse 13, it says that they need to flee Egypt and remain there until I tell you. Until I tell you. God didn't give them a time frame. He didn't tell them, hey, you're going to be there for a month, for 2 months, for a year, for the rest of your life. He just said go, and they went, right? And so one of the things that we can see out of this is later on down in verse 15, is it gives us that prophecy that Hosea gave us in chapter 11, out of Egypt I call my son. So we can see he was born in Nazareth. That fits prophecy. We can see that he was called out of Egypt. That fits prophecy. But what happens, right? Herod goes on and he's infuriated. He goes and kills the children. Notice in verse 16 it says he became furious. The word thumo. That word thumo just means that he was basically lost control to passion, right? That Satan had him and he was doing that, and so he killed everybody 2 and under. So we know Jesus would have been 2 or under. But probably around closer to that 2 years old age, kind of have that look. And then we see in verse 19 what happens. God takes care of them again. He sends them another angel in verse 19. And behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream again. And he said, it's okay, you can go back. And so they come back, they come to Judea. And what happens? They were warned in another dream that things were not very good in Judea, so they went to the district of Galilee. And so they actually go back to Nazareth, and so that once again, this would be fulfilled a prophecy that Jesus would be called a Nazarene. So in the end of this Christmas story, we see the wise men, we see them traveling, we know the killing of the kids by Herod, but I think one of the things that we forget the most is how much God was involved in this story, right? I mean, every little part, just a vision, an angel, just directing and moving Mary and Joseph all the way through so that it fulfills everything that the prophets has written, everything that God has said in the past, but also sets up for fulfillment of prophecy for the future. And it's just amazing that, if God cares about just this little bitty details in just one little story. God cares so much about us. He's always moving and directing these small little things in our life, in our past, looking forward to our future, but also looking for our future by looking through our past. And guys, I hope you're enjoying this. Hope this is making sense. Thank you for reading this, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 3. God bless.